I'm your host, Paul Ira. Today we're talking Sci-Fest and gardening. In studio we have Craig Rosen from Desert Research Institute and Vanessa Portillo and Bryan Crabble from Garden Farms Foundation. Before we switch over to gardening, let's talk a little bit more about Sci-Fest and your organization. When's this happening? How can we get some more information on it?
The Sci-Fest is happening this week. It ends on Saturday, and you can go to scifest.vegas. And for our event, May Science Be With You, it's happening May 3rd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Desert Research Institute, 755 East Flamingo Road, right here in Las Vegas. Hope to see you out at DRI. We're expecting a big crowd, and overflow parking will be at the Silver Sevens Hotel. So make sure if you get there and you see a ton of cars, there's plenty of parking next door.
And this is all free?
It's all free, and anybody should come to this. Bring your kids, bring your family. If you ever wanted to experiment with Leia buns, we have a hair studio coming out to do Leia buns. So
these are not pastries.
No. This is for your hair, Paul.
I always think pastries, So, anyway.
So it's for everybody and anybody. The whole family's invited, from birth to seniors.
Thanks, Craig. So all ages, it's free. It's all week. It ends this Saturday. Be sure and go to DRI and see their event on Thursday from 4 to 8. And overflow parking over there at Silver Sevens Parking. So back to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Tell us about gardening and how you are implementing STEAM into your program. First off, tell us a little bit more about Garden Farms.
So Garden Farms, we come to it's all about teaching people how to grow. We want to empower people to grow on their own. A lot of people don't realize how much you can grow in Las Vegas. So we do that by coming to you, building a garden for you, whether it's at your home or business or school. And then we send out a farmer that comes out weekly and teaches you how to grow.
And what does this cost?
Well, it's about the same cost as a landscaper.
Okay.
Although kind of a little cheaper sometimes, depending on the size of the garden, to be honest with you. But and this way, instead of just somebody coming by once or twice a month and clipping your hedges, it's somebody coming out weekly teaching you how to grow food, and you get better than organic produce as well. So it's the education and the product.
Oh, very nice. Well, one of the things that people should realize is we get a lot of sun in Las Vegas, which is very important for gardening. Now you have to deal with the water and the heat. So tell us some more.
So the Garden Farms Foundation, so what we do is we help schools cover the costs of their gardens by getting them grants and working together to make some programming happen as well. So we kind of put together the garden and the curriculum for the students, so they all get hands-on experience in the garden, and we teach the STEAM through teaming up with the teachers. The farmer comes out and we kind of figure out what their curriculum needs are, and we combine that with the garden needs as well. So the garden is a great place for learning just in general. I mean, you can go out there and teach a poetry class, or you can teach a geometry class. It's just this great place where you can pinpoint all the learning styles of a child or an adult. And so we're able to kind of make painting and planting of our bridge, which that's maybe something that's happening just that day, right? So maybe there's a new flower in bloom that we're talking about, or we see ladybug larvae. And then you have your intro and outro, which that's the farmer. So every farmer is a little different. So we all have our different styles. Some farmers are really versed on nutrition, on the nutritional side, or some are teachers, or some focus on the culinary side. So that is dependent on what they are kind of focused on. So all the kids get a different type of learning technique in the garden.
I feel like I'm more focused on the history and cultural anthropology side, because I like to think of STEAM as the how for everything in the garden, and then the history and the culture for the why. So how did civilizations even begin? Well, it was an excess of carbohydrates. It was extra wheat that they can then trade to other groups of people. and then just the spur for, making bread. We grow the wheat, how different dishes develop. I really like to focus on the history and incorporate that in with the STEAM.
That's good stuff. Tell us more. Keep coming. I know you got a ton of stuff to share with us.
Well, I like to focus on, so when I go out to the garden, I love the fact that the garden is a classroom. The kids, first of all, recess time is getting cut shorter and shorter nowadays. So they have this amazing opportunity to be out in the sunshine, but it's also a good reminder that it's a classroom, it's not recess time. So I'll have the kids come out with the garden journal. How do you get to class prepared? Well, you have your journal, you have your pen, you're ready to take notes. So same thing in the garden. So I'll always carry around some type of whiteboard that I can draw or shouldering and ready to harvest, or figuring out what fruits are coming out of the flowers, which is a fruit in their garden and which is a vegetable. So I just love the fact that the kids can come back to the classroom and continue the lesson. They have it in their journal. They have something that they learned. Maybe they learned a vocabulary word that day, and they can continue that after they leave the garden. We want the teachers to feel like they can go to the garden and have something to talk about with their kids. As farmers, we don't expect them to be professional farmers, to learn to know all about, how to plant the beneficial plants, or what the soil is doing. That's why we go there. But we want to create an environment where the teachers feel comfortable to go out.
There's a lot to it. I've been gardening my whole life. I was a slave laborer for my family as a youngster, and then I took it on as a hobby as I got older. And it's amazing how much math goes into your gardening, from the planning the dates out to when to plant and when to harvest, how big are your spaces, how far apart are the rows. There's a lot of math. But we're going to get deeper into that when we come back to Shades of Green and KDWN. We'll be right back.